First, let me say that most people try to do the red zone before they're ready. If you are not good at farming the green and yellow zones, you have no business being in the red zone. And just because you went to that yellow zone and didn't die that one time doesn't mean you're good at it. Second, the red zone is the worst place to get food, stone, cloth, and pretty much any main resource in the game. If you are looking for any of those resources, please check out the other videos in this series because they are going to give you what you're wanting. When I go to the red zone, I wear a tier 2 hat, shirt, and pants. If you're new to this tactic, I would recommend wearing much stronger armor just while you're getting the hang of it. Along with that armor, I bring 20 fried leeks, tier 2 or 3 weapon depending on how rich I'm feeling at the time, and a bastard sword. If you cannot craft bastard swords and you haven't found one yet, you may have to modify this tactic a little bit until you find one using this tactic. If you watch the other 2 videos in the series, you will notice that I'm using a lot nicer equipment in this tactic than I do in those other 2 tactics. This is because when farming the red zone, you want to get in, get the loot, and get out as fast as you can. Using a cart thiel in the red zone is possible, but you will end up wasting a lot of resources as more and more dire wolves and AI players spawn while you're lingering there. But do not fear, because the red zone has awesome loot, and using this tactic you will get more weapons, food, and armor than you used while you were in there. And in addition to that, you will get tons of other resources. When you enter the zone, start heading to the center. You might be tempted to sneak past these guys, but you will want to clear a safe path for 2 reasons. First, so that you can escape if things go wrong, and second, so that you can kite stronger enemies. One of the things I love about Grimsoul Survival is they put all of the chests in a cluster in the middle of the zone. When you see the first chest, start planning your approach to kill all of the enemies around it. Luckily for us, Templars are not usually in this area, but if you see one, ignore the chest that it's guarding and go somewhere else. Fighting a Templar is not worth it. If you see a damn knight, however, and you have a bastard sword, be sure to use the trick I taught you guys in the 5 advanced tips video so that he will only get 1 hit off on you. Witches can be snuck up on, but they have a very narrow blind spot, so be sure to sneak up directly behind them, and then use your bastard sword so she doesn't get a chance to scream. If you do not have a bastard sword, then use the witch reset tactic I also covered in the advanced tips video, and I would recommend avoiding damn knights until you get a bastard sword. Killing a knight with a tier 3 weapon uses a lot of food, so I would not recommend it. Rather, I'd recommend just getting the other chests that you can get to without killing them, and eventually you will find a bastard sword or scimitar in one of these chests. There are 4 to 5 chests in a red zone. Once you get all of the ones that are available to you, leave the area. If you are new to this tactic, go home. But if you've been doing this tactic for a while, head to the yellow zone. You can farm the yellow zone if you want. I don't really think it's worth it. Rather, just head back to the red zone and do it again. If you have a tier 2 backpack, you should be able to farm the red zones at least 3 times before your inventory slots start maxing out at 20. You can time this with nighttime to get some night caches, but if you do that, your approach should change a little bit. If you want to get night caches, be sure to check out my video on the 2 ways to farm night caches. Well, that's it guys. Even though on average you will get more weapons from the chests in this zone than you end up using, the reason I labeled this video as the most efficient way to get weapons is because this tactic is the most efficient way to get the materials needed to craft your own weapons. The only materials that you need to craft weapons that this video does not cover is wood and copper, which I cover in the other videos of this series. Alright guys, I'll see you next time.